We have a very busy man on the line today. We've got Dave Faulkner from the HOODOO Gurus. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is.
Good day, Rusty. How are you?
Good day, mate. Now, the first thing I have to ask you is, you are a Bluesfest virgin, aren't you?
I am, yes. We've never been asked to play Bluesfest before, and I've never been privately, so this will be my first one.
Hey, and I hope you're excited about this.
I am excited, yes, indeed. It's going to be fun, I think.
Yeah, because you are in the middle of playing some dates and stuff now. But when we get to Bluesfest, what do you sort of envisage? Have you thought about your set list? How do you go about that, tackling a new sort of arena, if you like?
Well, we won't do anything too outrageous. We're just going to basically we've got a new album coming out, so we'll play a few songs from that. But we're also planning on playing some of the old favourites because people require that. We can't get away with not playing a song like 1,000 Miles Away, for example.
That's right.
And we also want to do a couple of deep dives as well, just for the diehards, to kind of give them something that they may not have expected to hear us play live. That is a kind of bit of a treat.
Yeah.
So just the usual thing, a bit of a potpourri.
Yeah. Do you? Because your lineup. Oh, okay. Let's give a shout to the current lineup of the Gurus. You've been together quite some time now, haven't you? Pretty much.
Well, we have, except we replaced our drummer a few years ago.
Yeah.
Mark Kingsmill. He retired. He retired twice actually. He first quit about 6.5 years ago, I think it was, and then Nick joined for 18 months. Then Mark came back again because after he retired, he kind of got a taste for it again. And we're very happy to have him back, because we love Mark. But again, he sort of scratched that itch, and after 10 more months, he quit again. So we've had Nick for a few years now, and we're really happy because we've made a new album with Nick, which that was something Mark didn't want to do. He was very much wanting to retire, so he didn't want to make a new record and work any harder. so we plugged in a new spark plug into the band.
Right. And come on, tell us the name of that. Tell us who else is in there from the old crew.
Oh, well, of course, Rick Grossman. He joined the band in 1988, which is relatively recently in our terms.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
And then Brad joined in 1982, and I started the band in 1981. So we kind of go way back, all of us.
Yeah. Now look, it's 40 years or so,
That's
and
right.
as you say, 1981. If you could do that now, what would today's Dave Faulkner zip back in time and say to a young Dave Faulkner going, "Oh, I think I'll start a band"?
Oh dear. Well, of course, hindsight's 2020, as they say. So there'd be a million things I'd tell myself, a million things. But to be honest, I couldn't really take anything back. We made mistakes, and they're all our own. Most of them our own mistakes. We did have other people make mistakes as well. But it was we had the career we wanted. We did it our own way, and we don't really regret any of it.
Yeah, and right from the first album, Stone Age Romeos, which did exceptionally well, an overseas success as well. I mean, was that something you were expecting so soon?
No, we expected none of that. But also, Stone Age Romeos, it's become quite a legendary record. But at the time it came out, it didn't get tweeted with all this hosannas and wow, isn't this fantastic? It was very it was very modest, the reception at first, and it just grew over time. The reputation of the album and the band's success as well. Kind of, it grew. It was a bit of a sleeper, and it was kind of like a year really before it started becoming acknowledged as being this really fantastic record. I mean, we loved it, but it wasn't like, as I say, it wasn't like some second coming or something. There was no hosannas, but it was a really fun record to make, and we kind of would. It kind of was based on the first early part of the band's career, but when we moved on from there, I really, as a writer, I felt like I had to step up and kind of become a bit more, legit, I guess, in the sense that I wanted. A lot of the songs on that album were very jokey and tongue-in-cheek, and I just wanted to kind of not have people sort of questioning whether I was making up songs about fantasy stuff, and I wanted to make them about real things and about real emotions and address things that mattered to me. So that was a conscious move away from that kind of more clownish sort of style and into a bit more, you know, I guess artistic terrain. I guess, you know, talking about truth and things that count. But you know, I still really love that record, and we've always had that kind of sense of humour in our work ever since, and you know, that sensibility is still there, but it's just maybe not the dominant one anymore.
Yeah, and 9 albums later, you've got a brand new album coming out, Chariot of the Gods.
Finally, yeah, Chariot of the Gods. I mean, that, even the title, you know, already tells you we're still in the same sort of, you know, sensibility there, because that's that old Eric von Daniken novel from the 1970s, which was a bit of a craze at the time, and it's, as I described to people, it's a bit like the well, what's it called?
Harry Potter?
Dan Brown.
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code of his day. That's what it was. You know, so everyone was, you know, thinking, oh, it's really true, and look at all these clues he's uncovered of, you know, how aliens visited and built the pyramids and Stonehenge, and it's a lot of nonsense, but you know, it's kind of fun to think about as a kid. And you know, we think it's funny now to look back on that time and to kind of, in a sense, you know, go with that pompous notion.
Yeah, and just briefly on that, did the actual writing recording process that you did with Stone Age Romeos and then you did with Chariot of the Gods, was there much difference?
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because we deliberately went back to kind of work the same way as on Stone Age Romeos, where we recorded it as a series of singles rather than going in and making, you know, one whole album with all the tracks recorded at the same time, you know, and do all the drums, do all of this, that, and the other, you know, like a production line. We did it the other way, which is, you know, kind of more like, you know, tailoring each single for itself, and, you know, and then coming back and starting again with another set of tracks a few months later. So it was a different way of working, and very similar to how we did in the first album, because in those days, you know, no one wanted an album by the Hoodoo Gurus anyway, so we were only allowed to make a single. No, it's true, you know, we weren't well known, so we made a single and, you know, went out on tour and promoted that and got a bit more famous, and then we were told, well, you can make another single now, and we did that, and after the third single, they said, okay, you can finish off the album, and we'll release it as an album. And that's sort of what we did here. So, and I think it really worked for the new material, because it kept it sort of fresh, and also, yeah, it made the tracks kind of have their own unique character, rather than, as I say, where you sort of, you know, going from one lead guitar overdub on one track to another track or whatever. I mean, it's probably only something I could ever hear or think I hear, may not even be really something that a listener would pick up on. But for us working on it, it really was a different way of thinking about things.